Welcome, everyone. I cannot even begin to express to you how honored and humbled I am that you are here with me today. I know that you're here on this quest because nothing matters more to you than your relationship with your children. You want nothing more than to be the best parent you can be. I understand you. I'm a mother myself, so I fully understand your dreams, your anxieties, your aspirations, and your wishes for your kids. It's every parent's greatest desire to see their kids happy, and nothing hurts them more than to see their kids in pain. Nothing makes us prouder than to see our kids achieve their fullest expression of self. You know, as parents, we have this unique feeling that our hearts literally live outside of our bodies, in their bodies, where all our feelings are now ultimately tied to how they feel. This is what our kids do to us. We parents, we have this unbelievable quality of loving these children where our love knows no bounds, where our love for our children is unparalleled. It's unknown to us. It's unfathomable, limitless. And we know that this love also brings with it great anxiety, stress, and heartache. What we're about to embark on this quest of conscious parenting is completely revolutionary. It's a new way of parenting. It's radically different from any traditional way of parenting that you've been exposed to thus far. You know, the reason I created conscious parenting is because as a mother and a clinical psychologist, I began to see that my goals, my own goals of achieving a close and connected relationship with my child was actually getting all messed up by how I was being taught to parent. Instead of being this completely zen and rad and blissed out mother, I was a raving lunatic. I was overworked. I was overscheduled. I was always anxious. I wanted to control everything my kid did, when she pooped, when she peed, every hair on her head. This is what I thought I had to do as a parent. In fact, I still remember the first time I lost my cool with my daughter. It was one of those typical toddler tantrums. She wouldn't leave the park when I wanted her to. But guess who the toddler was? Guess who was having the tantrum? It was me. There I was, stomping my feet and raising my voice, and I was frothing at the mouth, and I was pointing my finger at her. I was just trying to be this glowering, menacing parent. And this little thing, she was like this high. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there yourself, where you've completely lost it, and you swore you never would be like your mother, but there you are, just like your parent. Me too. I was turning out to be my worst nightmare as a parent. What was going on? I had no idea. Here, I thought I had done all these years as a clinical psychologist. I was a meditator. Yet, I was losing my temper just like all those clients I was counseling. So I realized I had to do something about it. I began to use my meditation. I began to use my psychological expertise to deconstruct what was going on within me. Why, when I was so loving, was I being the most unloving to my kid? And then it all began to come to me, and I began to understand why. And this is when I began writing about conscious parenting. I understood that the problem wasn't my child at all. The problem was me. It was my big parental ego. And then once I discovered it was my ego, I began to look all around me, and I began to see it in the other parent there, and then my friend there, and it wasn't just me. All of us parents, we have this big parental ego, and it gets in the way, and it messes up our connection with our kids. But to be compassionate to us, it's not our fault. This is how we were taught to be parents. This is how we were conditioned to be parents. You know, the way we have been raised to think about parenting, that's the problem. That's what's been messing it up. And this creates disconnection. So I realized that unless I found a new way to parent, my kid and I would suffer. There would be a great disconnection between the two of us. I would be stressed, I would be in conflict, but my kid would feel all the burden of all this pressure and expectation. and that wasn't my kids to bear. So now, because of all this deconstruction that I've done, I want to show you a new way to parent. And I call this conscious parenting. Conscious parenting is a game changer. It literally turns everything you know about parenting on its head. It literally shakes the entire way you've been taught to parent, the way modern parenting is done. It is revolutionary, it's daring, it's bold, and yep, it's against the mainstream. So the question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready for this? Are you ready to change the paradigm by which you were raised, by which you were taught how to be a parent? Are you ready to try something new? I know that a big part of you is curious. That's why you're here. There's a big part of you that realizes that the current way you've been doing things, this anxiety that your kids and you are feeling, this can't be normal. You know it, but you just don't know maybe what to do about it. Well, this is where I come in. This quest is going to teach you a whole new way to parent your kids that will transform not only your connection to yourself, it'll also transform your connection to them. It'll transform your worldview. It'll offer you a lighthouse during your darkest parenting moments. But, and yes, there's always a but, I must forewarn you that this path of awakening, it's not easy. It will jar you, it'll stab you, it'll scar you. How can it not, right? You're about to leave your entire old way of believing and doing and connecting with yourself and your children behind, and you're going to enter a new way of being. Of course, it's going to bring up a whole lot of stuff for you. I get it. But this is all involved in the path of change and transformation. This quest is going to take you on that path of change and transformation. And part of that change and transformation involves a release. It also involves a release of your guilt and of your shame, because this is inevitable. All of us parents are burdened by this sense of guilt. I mean, I don't know a single parent who isn't a guilty parent. I'm with you. I've been that parent, and I too had to learn new skills and strategies to transform myself. And you and I together on this quest are going to undertake transformation with each other. So as your feelings, and there are going to be many feelings that come up, whatever they are, may it be regret or guilt or remorse, let's together hold a space of compassion, of even humor, because you know we parents are a little crazy, and gentleness around them. Just know that every parent messes up. Every one of them, and as I've said, including me, no one is exempt from their unconsciousness, their parental ego. No one, trust me. The only difference, I think, in where I've begun to change, I've just learned to use the relationship with my child as a mirror. And I look in the mirror to discover who it is I truly am. How have I co-created this current moment in time? And as a result, I've used the relationship with my child as the greatest awakener, as the greatest expander of my consciousness. You and I know that no one matters more to us than our children. And because of this, no one can teach us more about ourselves than this relationship. It's this relationship I've come to see that if we use it in the right way, can truly teach us not only how to connect to them better, but really show us how we've been wounded in our childhood and how we can evolve and become whole. Let's begin by understanding who a conscious parent is and how a conscious parent is different from the traditional parent. Well, here's the key difference. A conscious parent is one who realizes that the child that they need to raise is the child within them. This is the first child that needs to be raised. The parent's own inner child, the child that still lives within them, still left over from their own childhood, that child that hasn't really grown up yet. It's only when we parents understand that we have an inner child left over from the vestiges of our own childhood that needs to be elevated, raised, become whole, it's only then that we can aspire to even begin to connect to the child before us. And this is the key difference between a traditional parent and a conscious parent. The traditional parent looks outside at the child. The conscious parent looks within at their own inner child. The traditional parent looks at the child as the object of the focus. So when the child is bad, they point a finger at the child and they try to fix the child. And we worry about them. Of course we worry about them, but the way we worry about them is as if they're these fragile, broken birds, where we're so worried about every experience they go through. Their pain is our pain. We want to fix and manage and control and solve and ease them at all costs because it's too hard for us to see them in any sort of pain. We angst about their future and really micromanage their childhoods and contour their childhoods toward a future that has only really one definition, a future of success and achievement. We mistakenly believe that this is the way we're meant to be good parents. Little do we realize that all of this obsession is all coming from within us, our sense of lack. Let me explain. You see, the current parenting model acts like it is all about the child, but I'm going to show you how it is actually so little about the child and so much about us, the parent. If we're really honest with ourselves, we will see that all of our fears and micromanaging of our children, all of it, yes, all of it comes from our own desires and expectations. And this is really hard for me to say, and it'll be hard for you to hear. It's almost like we use our children as a vessel to complete our incomplete selves. Let's just sit with this for a moment. When I realized on my own path that I was using my child to complete something within me, it was a sobering moment. It really brought me to my knees because this wasn't my intention. My intention was to raise this sovereign spirit, but yet I was putting onto this child all my own stuff. So what did this mean? I had to begin to look at my stuff. So let's sit with the fact that all our obsessions, which we call love, may be coming out of us, really being expressed from our own deep internal lack. I know that's something really heavy, almost unbearable, intolerable to accept, to face. But we have to accept that this thing we call love, this unconditional parental love, may actually be an unconscious parental need. This is a harsh and inconvenient truth, I know. But it is only when you and I, all parents, realize how unconsciously we've been raising our children, that most of our parenting has been based on our own inner longings for significance, out of our own inner thirst for validation, out of our own inner craving for belonging. That's when we're going to become aware of how we manipulate this relationship to serve our own needs. This portal of my own pain, of my own realizations that I was using my child, actually became the portal of evolution, not only for myself, but for many other parents. And unless the parent raised themselves to a new state of consciousness, we would not change humanity. The planet would continue to be the way it is. The portal to the raising of the planet's evolution is the raising of the parent's consciousness. So then maybe, just maybe, we don't even need to look at our children as children per se, but perhaps shift our entire way we look at them. That really, they are our teachers, our mirrors to show us how we need to grow up. So now let's talk about why we need conscious parenting. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't think of a single human who doesn't need to recover from their childhoods. Not one, including my own daughter. Unconsciousness, you see, it is the way we were all raised. This is just a fact of being human. So understanding our childhood patterns and healing the hurts and wounds from our own childhoods is the core of conscious parenting. And because of this, every single human needs conscious parenting. I mean, as a therapist, I see all around me the rates of anxiety and attention deficit disorders is on a sharp incline, where almost 1 out of every 3 kids in the US, yes, 1 out of every 3 kids, has an anxiety disorder. It's almost as if every other kid has some diagnosis or the other. You know, it's kind of funny, but there are even so many different names for the different kinds of parenting that we have right now. I mean, you know some of them. There's the helicopter parent, there's the lawnmower parent, the tiger, the dolphin. The names go on and on. The bottom line is this: we parents are kind of clueless. We don't know how to parent right. We want to, but we just don't know how. We don't know where to turn. I fully empathize. You know, I'm a mom too. I'm always looking for the right way to do this better. You, like me, want to get it right. But we just haven't found the clear, direct path to raising connection with our children. So why should you even listen to me? Listen, I get your concerns. I truly do. The main salve that I can offer you is this. I can offer you a way out of your own anxieties, your own worries as a parent. I can offer you a clear and deeper way to connect to yourself and your kids. It won't only improve your well-being, but it'll truly manifest in your child's well-being. It will free not only yourself, but it'll free your child to manifest their destiny. We are here to be daring parents, bold parents, and try a new way of approach that, yes, goes against the tide, but that's what all revolution is about. All unprecedented revolution is about going against the old way and forging a new path and a new territory toward change. Yes, you will face tremendous inner and outer resistance. This is normal. Every movement has faced this. Every movement that shakes up the world, before it does, it undergoes ridicule. It undergoes scorn and contempt and rejection. For change to occur, yes, it's risky, yes, it's daring, but that's where new air gets breathed and new growth gets established. And your children deserve better, don't they? Every child deserves a more conscious parent. Don't they deserve to have parents who refuse to just go through the motions of parenting because their ancestors did so? Don't our children deserve to have parents who honor and accept them for who it is they are? Isn't this something that you wanted from your parents? Don't our children deserve to live their lives connected to their own sense of self and authority? They deserve to have parents who are awakening so that they can stay awakened. You see, our children come awakened. They come close to their source, to their truth, to their authentic spirit. They deserve parents who are whole and complete and worthy so that they are not burdened by our emptiness. You are here because you are committed to uphold your children's authentic expression, and you have declared that this upholding of their spirit is your sacred obligation. As you become your truest selves, your children will too. The journey begins with you. It is you who sets the stage, and you who co-creates the conditions. You are pivotal. The only moment that matters is the one now. You and me on this quest. Together, let's elevate. So for today's task, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to reflect on our sacred intention for taking this quest of conscious parenting. You may write this down or you may jot notes in your parenting journal, but ask yourself, why was taking this quest important to me? What are my personal reasons for undertaking this journey? I've been doing this parenting journey in one way. Can I dare to try a new way? In every word you write it with intentionality. ask yourself, is this the truest me that I'm representing on the page? And don't forget, share your thoughts with the tribe, because now you're surrounded by this incredible group of conscious parents. Because through the sharing, you will realize that you're not only not alone, but actually you're just like the other parents. Your challenges are their challenges. Your vulnerability is their vulnerability. And it is through your sharing that you will be an inspiration to the other parents as well.